technique is to document, analyze, and improve. So three things you note there, document, analyze, and improve the flow of information or materials required to deliver a product or service for a customer. So it is used for documenting, it is used for analyzing, and it is also used for improving the flow of improving the flow. Whatever is flowing, information is flowing or material is flowing, whatever is flowing to deliver a product or service to a customer. And it has a lot of goals that you can achieve through value stream mapping, optimizing the processing, improving the quality, lead time improvement, lead time actually not improvement, only lead time predictability. So that's another thing. Improve employee satisfaction, provide slack, simplify prioritization. So it does lot many things. It allows for lot many things. Okay, you still see my slides, right? Do you see my slides or my slides are gone?
We're on
Right now,
Teams.
we're just seeing the teams.
Gone.
Gone. Okay. I
So
was
if you're sharing. It was sharing.
Yeah, I was sharing. Okay, now you should see it, right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now you should see it. All right. I had some suspicion, so I said, okay, let me check it. Okay. All right. So let's move. Let's talk about. I will show you here a little video on value stream mapping that will give you a little more idea. If you don't hear the audio, let me know. I tested it before, so it should be fine.
Well, hi, this is Jay Arthur, and let's talk about value stream mapping for Lean. I call it Lean Simplified. And let me introduce you to the power tools for this. They're called Post-it notes. I use the square ones for activities and the arrows for the gaps between activities. And let me give you an example. I worked with a group a while back, and it was taking them 140 days to process a transaction, if you will. And that just seemed entirely too long. And so what we did was we started to lay out the value stream, the map of what happened. And first step, log the request. And then they'd evaluate the request. And then they'd research the request. And then they'd decide if the request was valid or not. Then they'd schedule an exam, diagnose the patient, and treat that patient. Now at this time, this 140 days was the fastest of anywhere in the nation. Now, I always use these little arrows to show the time in between. But here's what I've learned from working in a lean environment with many different kinds of processes. You quickly discover that maybe 3 minutes out of every hour are spent with people doing something or machines doing something, but the other 57 minutes are all spent the products waiting on something to happen. I call this the 357 rule. So what happened here was I asked them, I said, okay, so how long does it take to log the request? And they said, maybe 5 minutes. I said, okay. And then how long does it take to evaluate the request? And they said, 25 days. I said, really? You got one guy, one sheet of paper, working on this for 25 days? And they said, well, no, actually, it's maybe 30, 40 minutes to evaluate the request. And I said, oh, so there's 25 days of delay. They said, yeah. I said, okay, so what happens next? Well, we research the request. Really? I said, how long does that take? And they said, 120 days. I said, really? 120 days? One guy, one sheet of paper? And they, well, no, that might take an hour. I said, so there's a 120-day delay. And very quickly you discover out of this 140-day process, a lot of it is stuck in these two boxes right here. Then, if it's okay, they schedule the exam. I said, how long does that take? Maybe 10 minutes. How long before you actually get to do the exam? Well, as much as 7 days. and then it might be, maximum 1 day before you get around to treatment. The diagnosis, maybe an hour. The treatment, that could be ongoing. So what you discover here is in that 140 plus days, there was only 7 hours of real work in the entire process. So once you've mapped the value stream, then you want to figure out, well, how can I redesign this to get rid of these big delays, especially that one and this one on top of it? I said, well, could you just log the request and get right into evaluating it? Well, maybe. I said, well, can you do the research requests in the background? And the doctor said, well, we can usually tell from looking at the patient whether what they're asking for was really caused by what they say it was caused by. And so literally, we could take it and go straight to schedule exam, eval, schedule, and get right into diagnosis. And they actually cut this process down to about a maximum of 30 days now. And that's how easy it is to redesign and reevaluate a process using value stream mapping.
Okay, so what did you see in this video? What you got? Anybody? What you saw? I saw three distinct things. Number one, you can see how the process works, the flow, right? So that's like documenting the process. And then you start analyzing it. Oh, why does, they take 120 days for that delay or 25 days delay? Why these delays are caused? So that's analyzing. And then how you can cut them and how you can fasten the whole thing or speed up. We hear a lot about these days, speed to market, right? We hear a lot about that. So how do you speed to market? You need to know how does your delivering value to the customer works. You need to understand it. You need to analyze it. Then only you can be able to speed up. So it's very important to have this way to document, analyze, and improve. And value stream mapping is one of that tool or technique, and it's a very simple one. It's simple technique, but it's very uh, difficult when it comes down to laying it out. I have done it for several years, and when I have the whole team sitting and doing it, I have always seen that they don't see the process in the same manner. Everybody has their own version of the process. So one of the things the value stream mapping brings to the table, or big benefit, brings everybody on the same table. Everybody has the same view of the process as it is practiced today. Not talking about analyzing and improving, just a very high value in bringing everybody together on the same page, and not everybody seeing that process in their own way. And that happens invariably. I might have done about more than 100 workshops on value stream mapping, and every time I ask the team to do the value stream map for their current process. Invariably, that happens. If there are 15 people sitting in the room, there are 15 versions, or maybe sometimes even more. Okay, so there are two basic types of value stream maps. One is called operational, other is called as development. Let's understand them a little bit more. So this is an operational value stream. So what's an operational value stream? These are the mapping or the process that deliver a product or service to a customer. Okay, they represent the flow of the business. So basically, they are more business related. So, for example, fulfilling an order, manufacturing a product, and here is an example of processing a mortgage loan application. So the sequence of activities to deliver value to the customer. That's what the operational value stream, and it's one of the kind of businesses or operations of a company, of an organization. So you can see the activities laid out, what happens, what happens first, then next, then next, then next, then next, then next, for processing a mortgage loan. And this is an example. If you work in a mortgage loan company and your process may be very different, and if you are 20 people doing the mortgage loan processing application, if I get you together in a room, I will see more than 20 versions of your process initially to begin with. But then that provides an opportunity to have a talk about it and say what's the actual process, what's the real process. And then you get down to where are the issues and how do we resolve those issues so we get a better process, or get a speed and efficiency and quality and all those kind of things. All right. And this is an example of a development value stream map. So a development value stream map is basically a value stream that supports operational value stream by improving systems and capability. So this development value stream will improve the system and capability. So it's basically in a very basic terms, it automates certain activities. For example, let me go back here. Okay, let's take, for example, eligibility check and decision. This is one step here. Okay, eligibility check and decision. Now this process may be manual to begin with, but then you can develop a system or a software that will automate this part. So that will take certain inputs and it automate, and it will do the eligibility check and make a decision to move forward or not. So you can write software for that. You can write software for almost every step. Quick rate quote. You can do a quoting software, right? You can do a award software. You can do the payment terms, or you can combine certain things like you can award loan and set up payments. This can be together, two steps that can be automated. So a development value stream will basically improve the system or capabilities, mostly by writing software or developing software. So you can see that this is a software process: prioritize stories, development, run unit tests, deploy to QA environment, QA testing, and deploy to code environment. So that's a development value stream. And it's important to know that distinguish between a operational value stream. An operational value stream is for the business users. They use that process, and then normally their software teams develop software to automate one or multiple steps involved in the operational value stream. All right, moving forward, there are certain terms or concepts that you should know, such as value added. All the activities that provide an outcome is value added. Some activity that doesn't provide an outcome or value is a waste. And then there are timings too. There are two key times that need to be noted in doing the analysis, which is an activity time. How much time does it really take to do that activity? You saw that in video, somebody saying 25 days to process an application. Okay, but that 25 days is an elapsed time. So activity time, when we talk about, is how much time really it takes to perform that activity, like 45 minutes or 1 hour. So rest is the wait time. And once you get that understanding of how much is the activity time, the wait time, those wait times give you opportunity for improving, opportunity for speeding up. And I will show you some examples very soon that will tell you how to go about looking at wait times and how to work on the wait times. And then based on those two, you have the total lead time, how much time it takes end to end to deliver a value to the customer, and what is the efficiency of your process. And the goal is to improve this efficiency. Goal is to improve this efficiency. If your efficiency increases, your lead time will improve, your lead time will go down, and your overall process becomes faster, or you gain the speed. So this is an example, another example of or ordering a car or delivering car based on an order, and you can see what are the different activities involved in this. I don't have to go through and read this to you, but you can see that. And now on the top here, on that yellow sticky on the top, you see that there are activity times, and all the times are in minutes. So when you do value stream mapping and you put the times, keep the unit of time same across. You could pick hours, you could put minutes, you can have days, whatever is relevant in your situation, you can use that. So you can see the activity 240 minutes, 50 minutes, 120 minutes, and then you have wait times here, right? The wait times here. So one question I have here for you, what kind of VSM is this? Anyone? Is it an operational value stream or a development value stream?
Operational?
Yep, it's an operational value stream because it's fulfilling an order. Basically, that's what the operation is, fulfilling an order. Okay. All right. So now if I take these numbers and apply the matrix on these numbers, so this is what I will get. You can confirm it later. Okay. But this is what I get. So process efficiency for this process, in the example you saw, is about 12%. Okay. So when I say it is 12%, I tell you the process efficiency of this process is 12%. What does this number tell you? What impression you get, or what comes to your mind when you see it's 12%? Anybody?
Not very efficient.
Not very efficient? Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely not very efficient. What else?
That there's room for improvement?
Absolutely. Anything else? So related to both, you can say that 88% time is a waiting time. So 88%, 12% is the activity time. Real activity takes only 12%. So 88% time is the wait time. Now, so that's a kind of conclusion you draw. It's not very efficient. There is a lot of room to improve. But where do you start? Okay, where do you start? So if you go back here, so you start looking for where you have largest wait time. You start from there. So here is the largest wait time, 3,600 minutes. Like, so why there is so much wait after the QA testing is finished and it is accepted? So you may start looking at it. Maybe there are not many people who will accept it. Maybe they are very busy. Whatever is the reason, you know, or the after the QA testing they don't get notified for several days. It means I'm just saying things. But when you are part of this process, you will know why there's a wait time here. So once you have figured this out, you can go to the next one. These are two big here, 2,400. And once you have improved them, you can go to the next one. So you can start, you can prioritize, right? You can start with where you have, without pushing people to work faster. Because even if you pushed people to work faster, that 240 minutes reduces to 200 minutes, you're not going to gain much. You're not going to gain much. The gain will come when you reduce these kind of delays. So that is how you start analyzing, and then start thinking about how do you improve, what you need to do to improve, right? So when to use value stream mapping? When improve an existing process. So when you want to improve an existing process, you want to make it more efficient, that's when you can use value stream mapping. Or when you are developing a new process, then also you can use value stream mapping to design your new process. Or when you want to facilitate communication or collaboration, or if you are implementing Kanban. So Kanban is basically a flow of information or material. So when you are implementing a Kanban, you basically start from value stream mapping. You don't jump to Kanban. You start from value stream mapping, understand the process, understand the activities, and then you can develop your Kanban. And this is important for uh, whether you are in a software development or in non-software development, whether you are uh, implementing Kanban to visualize your operational value stream or your development value stream, whatever value stream you want to visualize. You want to see what's happening and where things are and how many of the work items are in what state and those kind of things. That's where the value stream map become important. Okay, let's move on. Uh, so what are the steps? You saw that, in the video, uh, the person has sticky notes already written. So basically he has identified the activities. That's the first thing you do. So before you put anything on the wall or anything on as a process, just think about all the activities that happen as part of delivering value, and then you put them in a flow. As you saw in the video, he had the stickies, and then he was putting that in a kind of a flow. Uh, and also, I think to do a full blown value stream map, you need not just the activity and their flow. You also need to identify who performs them and what are the issues, challenges associated with each activity. So you may have a higher level list of pains or challenges for the process, but when you create a value stream map, you get an advantage of going down to the more granular level and say, okay, here is the issue with this activity. Okay, so that helps you in analyzing and improving the process. And then you estimate your activity time, your wait times, and then you calculate your process efficiency. So these are the steps that you go through to create your full value stream. It doesn't stop at number 2. Once you have put it basically you have to go through all the 6 or 7 steps here. And I have created a template for doing this, and I use this template. This is in Mural. uh, before COVID, I used to do in-person workshops, and we used sticky notes. But after that, we started using virtual workshops, and Mural was very, very helpful. So you can use this template to create your activity and wait times and what is an activity, and if there's a wait, then you can put a stage where the things are waiting, uh, and then who performs those activities. Of course, if it is a waiting kind of thing, then there will be nobody performing those. What is the exit criteria? I think that's another important thing. So how do you know that that activity was completed or activity is complete and you can move to the next activity? So what are the conditions that need to be met to move to the next activity? And that actually, having a very clear idea of that and everybody following that will help improve quality. So you don't move to the next step until the previous step is fully complete. It's kind of a, if you all work in agile world, definition of done for a story. So this is definition of done for the activity. What all need to be there? How do you know that this activity? That's the exit criteria. Very important aspect of improving the quality through value stream mapping. And then what are the pain points associated with with each activity, and then you have that activity time, wait time, and all those kind of things. Okay, moving along. So this is another example of value stream mapping for a sales pipeline. Um, so if you are involved with sales, you can use value stream mapping to identify your process, and then you can put a Kanban board to basically visualize your work and improve your process. So in this case, the numbers turns out that process efficiency is 30% here. But this is another example here. So what kind of VSM is this? Operational or development? Anyone?
Development.
Uh, any other thoughts?
I
No, I
think
guess more operational.
operational.
This is
Yeah.
operational again, because this is not, this is laying out the, um, you know, closing a sales. So there is no software development activity here. So, but for example, if you want to say assemble the first draft of the proposal, if you automated that part, and what is the going to be, in most of cases, the development value streams are going to be very similar, because you do requirements, you do design, you do development, you do testing, and you deliver. So, but maybe little variations. But operational value streams are going to be significantly different for different operations. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So this is a quick exercise for you. So you can do on your own, and when I will give you maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So I would like you to create a value stream map for fulfilling an order on an e-commerce site such as Amazon. Many of you are familiar with Amazon, right? All of you may be familiar with Amazon, so I picked up this. So I'll give you 5 minutes and check. So on a piece of paper or wherever you want to, just try to create a value stream map for fulfilling an e-commerce, fulfilling an order. Let's see what you come up with, and let's see what you do. Okay, 5 minutes. And if you have any question, put in the chat or ask me, and you can respond. So I'll stop sharing. I hope everybody is trying to come up with a value stream map. It's about 4 minutes.
Hey, NK,
Yes.
could you put the those steps back up on the screen? There were like identify activities, so on and so forth.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Perfect. Perfect.
Scott, if you want to take a picture of it, go ahead and take it. I would want to move forward.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody would like to share what they got? So far, I know it's difficult to do all the steps, but even if you have, okay, somebody is sharing. I don't know who that is, but let's look at that.
This is a little
Okay.
okay. So basically, I just put these steps. Basically, is to show the catalog, select products. Then add to the cart. Then I am asking if that is complete. If it is complete, select delivery address and make payment.
Okay.
If it is not, it's going back to select products again.
Okay. I'm glad you put this decision box. So usually when you do a value stream map, if there is a decision box, then you try to map the path that is traveled most. Okay, so complete, if yes is, let's say, what percentage complete will be yes. So you show that in the value stream map, and let's say maybe I'm just picking up a number 75-25. So if 75% time it's complete, and then you move forward, then you say complete is a stage which is not an activity, is a wait stage. Okay, it's complete or not. So if it is complete, then you go to the next one. So and then that if it's 75% time it is not complete and you're going back, then that is what should be laid out in the following steps. So you can revalidate or add to the cart again, or whatever are the activities that will happen if complete is no. Okay. Or if it is just a wait state that they're waiting for everything to complete, like the person is adding to the cart and then they say, okay, 4 items got added, and then say, okay, now I am done. So then that is also a kind of so add to cart keeps happens multiple times, not one time. But add to cart here in the value stream map will be that the add to cart activity is complete. Then you go to the next one, select delivery address and all those kind of things. Very good, very good. So anybody else, they came up with the value stream map which is different than this one? Anybody else? Okay, all right, let's move on again. Okay, so okay, so these are the So this is the template that we talked about, and this is what activity you did. So what are the best practices in developing the value stream map? We'll discuss one by one. What are the best practices that you can follow? So the very first one is when you are doing value stream mapping and you have multiple processes, list down all processes. Pick the processes. All means the processes that matter. Don't write down a process that really doesn't matter from a strategic perspective, from customer perspective, or from OKR's perspective. Okay, or all of this. So pick the processes that matter, or list the processes that matter, and then start with a process that matters the most. So you prioritize, and this is the philosophy of prioritization, comes from Agile, that you prioritize the most important thing first and do work on that thing first. In this case, that thing is value stream map. Okay, developing the value stream map. So pick the one that matters the most, and then uh, be specific about the scope of the value stream. Like what is the start point and what is the end point. So it's important to identify those, so that okay, this is what this value stream map is about. Many times it happens that operationally or development perspective, one team does something and then hands it over to the other team or other department, where you don't see what happens to that when it goes to that department. And maybe you, as your department is trying to do value stream map for your piece, then there is a start and end. But it is advisable to think about end to end, delivering value to the customer, not from one department to the other department or one team to the other team. So from the start, when the process start until the customer gets the value, that is what is best practice to map an end-to-end process. Uh, all right, and then include right people in developing the value stream map. So right people are the people who are actually involved in executing that process. The people who are, there is possible that one person may not be doing all the activities, so one person may be doing one activity or maybe a couple of activities, but then if you put all the people together, then you can have the entire value stream map. So I may know my little piece, some other person may know their piece, and then the other person knows their piece. And once the value stream map is completed and everybody knows the big picture, everybody knows end to end how the value is delivered to the customer. And it does take time. Let me tell you, it does take time. So the workshops that I have done is really to do a value stream map in a proper manner. Probably it may take about half a day or sometimes even more than half a day if it is a complicated value stream map, or if it is a lot of people are involved in delivering the value to the customer. So going through the entire thing of steps, uh, 1, 2, 3 itself will take a lot of time. Identifying the processes, prioritizing the process, understanding where it starts and where it ends. That itself takes a lot of time, a lot of conversation, because there are not easy to get agreement. Everybody thinks about their own tunnel view. And when it comes to the entire process, then there are a lot of gaps. And one of the advantages of this that those gaps are identified, and set your clear metrics to measure progress, wait time, lead time, process efficiency, or whatever. Okay, so those were the best practices. Now let's get on to the quiz. I hope this thing works. Like, okay, so let's get on to the quiz. If you are still there, then let's join the quiz. And I see there are 2 players that are ready, 3, 4, 5. Good, very good. And winner will get the prices I have listed there. Any more? Okay, 6, 7. Okay, very good. Any more?
How do we get in there?
The same, go to menti.com, use the code if you see on the top. Go to menti.com and use this code.
Oh,
That is
gotcha.
how
There's,
that is how you enter. That is how you enter. Okay, 10 more seconds and then I'll start. So one by one, there are 5 questions will come about value stream mapping, and you answer them fast, will give you more points, and then all the points are added, and somebody who scores the maximum number of points wins. Okay, so let little fun here. Okay, so let's get started. We have 11 players. Other can also join. They want to join. Answer to fast to get more point. Okay, so you see the first question come up there. Which is not a goal for value stream map. Okay, so estimate to slack enable improvement. Yeah, okay, that's the goal. You can improve the quality as a byproduct. Okay, all right, that may be a little confusing question. Okay. So let's see who is ahead. Okay, so Mark is ahead. All right, let's go to the next one now. Yeah, we discussed this multiple times. Yep. So somebody by mistake put agile. Operational. All of you are right. But let's say who
it
was
was a
fast.
mistake.
Yeah, I can guess that. Yeah, I can guess that. So let's see if, okay, Mark is still leading. Okay, all right. Let's get to the next one. Yeah, we talked about this. Oh, wow, that's the spread over. Okay, yeah, so that's the first one is right. Let's see how the leaderboard looks like. Mark is still leading, man. Can anybody meet Mark? Oh, Sherlyn has come on the second. Okay. Yeah, we just discussed this. What is the first step in creating a VSM? Yeah, identify activities is the first one, and that's the right one. Ooh, close contest. Okay, no change. And this is the last one. If anybody want to disrupt. Yeah, that's right. All of the above. Let's see if it changes anything. Okay, so Mark seems to be the winner. So Mark and Sherilyn, you will get the prices. So send an email to Sarah. Sarah, you can put your email address in the chat box, and so they can send email to you and tell what price they want to have, and then you can tell them how to get that. Okay. Questions. So we have 5 minutes left. Does anybody has any questions? You can put the questions on the chat or ask. Any questions? Seems like, let me check chat box. Is there a code for PDU credit? Yeah, there is a code. And Sarah, do you have the code? I think we created a code for this.
I think it should be on the next slide.
Okay, let me do that. Let me go to the next slide. Next slide. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, next. And if you can find, Sarah, this somewhere and you can put it on the chat, that would be great. Yeah, there is a code there. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? What was this useful, helpful? Okay, let's do a couple
Yes.
of more. Thank you. So let's do let's do this another couple of questions on Menti. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how strongly you will recommend this webinar to someone else? So what do you guys think? Very good. Very good. That tells me that you found it pretty useful, which is excellent. And let's do, and are you interested in any webinar topics that you would like to see in the future? You can put those topics here if you want to learn about a particular topic, and then we can see if we can create a webinar. The idea is to have this conversation here, share the knowledge. That's the whole idea about doing the webinar. Any topics that you want to see in the future? AI, yeah, sure, we can do. We did I believe we did AI, and for both of these topics, AI and SAFE, we have 1 day AI. We have 1 day class, and generative AI for project managers. That's the title. And Sarah, can you put that on the chat, the URL for the AI class that we do? It is a 1 day class. We had it I believe last week. It was great, and we do lots of hands-on in that class, lots of hands-on. So you basically learn how to do it, not only what is AI, but how to actually do it. So you can join our next class in February. We have this class every month on generative AI, and also we have a safe agilist class, I think once a quarter or so. Estimate, managing conflict, dealing. Okay, yeah, very good, very good. What is DAVSC?
The discipline agile value streams consultant.
Yeah, so basically you learn value stream mapping. We don't do that, the certification part. And what is DAC, discipline agile certification?
Discipline agile coach.
Certifications. Yeah.
Discipline agile
So
coach.
yeah, got it. Yeah, these are the certifications from PMI. I'm aware of it. So we don't do that, those certifications. You can find people who are offering it on a PMI website. But we are doing AI. So just wanted to let you know that we have a 1 day course on AI. That's what we do. That's what we are doing. And Sarah has put this link over here for the our next AI class. Okay, it's 2 o'clock. So we concluded a few minutes before, leaving some room for Q&A. Thanks for joining. I hope you liked it and you got some basic understanding of value stream mapping. If you want to go deeper, we're more than happy to help you. Connect with me and we can talk about how do we do that. Okay. All right. I'll be here for another 2-3 minutes if you have any questions.
Thank you, NK. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
NK.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, NK, question for you.
Yes. Yes.
When you're consulting on this, do you run into businesses that give you any pushback on spending the time to do this level of effort?
Yes. So
Okay.
so the way to deal with that is don't ask for a 2 or 3 day workshop.
Yeah.
Okay, ask for like a half day.
Mm-hmm.
So that they see the value.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe start with a 1 hour webinar like this.
Mm-hmm.
So they get an idea about what this is and how this is going to benefit and all those kind of things. And once they see the value, then they'll be willing to spend time. But Scott, you're right. There is always a pushback. When I did these workshops, the the director or manager would like their teams to go through the workshop, but the team will say, oh, we are so busy already, we have so many things, we have deadlines, we have this, that, and all those kind of things. We cannot spend 2 days. And then we'll say, okay, uh, let's break. In case of virtual, it was a good flexibility, so we'll say, okay, let's have multiple 2 hour sessions on, in a week, let's do 2 or 3 times, not bring everybody for 2 days. But if it is not a virtual and people are not in one place, they are traveling, they are coming together, then it's good to have that 2 days in a row, so that everybody can return back to their offices. um, and there is a value in doing it in person. It's much more effective, and also it helps people to get out, and people are more interested if it is in person somewhere outside than their office. So then they are not pushed for the work during the same time. So yeah, different options, Scott. Just you have to see what works best in your organization.
Makes sense. It seems to remind me of some stuff that was done back in the days of JAD, Joint Application Design. I remember like process flow stuff back in then. Did you ever do that when you were at IBM?
I did not do JAD. My main engagement with IBM was agile coaching. And
Okay.
as part of agile coaching, I used to look at their process of delivering value. And mine was more like the organizations that mostly was doing infrastructure support work. There were very few teams that were doing development work, but most of the teams were doing, and there were large teams. Like I know I did with a team for a bank, and there were 600 people from the IBM that were involved in supporting that customer. And the customer also had about 50-60 people from their organization, their CIO organization. So there were about 700 people involved in that process of providing the customers, providing the support, IT infrastructure support work. And how do you basically improve agility in that environment? It was very challenging. It was extremely challenging, but we did it. I did probably more than 100 workshops there in 4 years or so, and different type of organization: banking, manufacturing, distribution, healthcare. uh, so I had different experience and different challenges every place.
Wow.
But it was fun.
Good. All right. Well, thank you,
Okay.
NK. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.